South Post educator comes in with fresh plea from President Buhari. Bye-bye to Justice Mohammed, an assignment for those behind. Cultivating friendship through agricultural businesses between Nigeria and Russia. Plus, permanent interest signpost historic meeting of political contestants in America. Welcome to NTA Network News. I am Ronke Kolawole. President Muhammadu Buhari has challenged the nation's judiciary to remain in the forefront of his administration's efforts at securing the country, repositioning the economy, and eliminating waste and corruption for a better Nigeria. It was while swearing in Justice Walter Samuel Onogen as the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria in line with the provisions of the nation's constitution. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The 65-year-old indigene of Cross River State, Justice Walter Samuel Onogen, a member of the body of benches and live benches, was appointed as Justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria in 2005. Before joining the Apex Court, Justice Onogen, who is also a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Arbitration, served as a judge of the Cross River State High Court and Justice of the Court of Appeal. President Muhammadu Buhari, who congratulated him for his appointment as the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, was however quick to add that a lot is expected from him at these trying times in the nation's history.
Trying time in the sense of physical security, the problem of the economy, and corruption. And I wish the incoming Chief Justice a successful tour of bringing Nigeria back into line.
Justice Walter Onogen expressed appreciation to President Muhammadu Buhari for the confidence reposed in him, which he promised will be justified through selfless service to the nation.
I assure you of the fullest cooperation of the third arm of government in the continuation of the war against corruption and misconduct in the judiciary, with the general ultimate aim of having a better judiciary befitting the nation of Nigeria.
He ensures that whatever he does it in accordance with the law. Very hardworking and corrupt-free. I am sure he is going to bring about a lot of changes in the judiciary and especially in the Supreme Court.
The acting Chief Justice of Nigeria succeeds Justice Mahmoud Muhammad, who retired from the bench at the age of 70.
The judiciary has a big role to play in all aspects of our lives in this country. We need the help of all Nigerians to fish out those corrupt elements within us so that they could punish and then be rid of, so that we live clean judiciary for the nation.
At the event, President Muhammadu Buhari poured encomiums on Justice Mahmoud Muhammad for doing his best while in service as Chief Justice of Nigeria. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, a valedictory court session was held this Thursday to mark the retirement of the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Mahmoud Mohammed. He advised the nation's judiciary to remain committed to its constitutional duties, but also restore integrity in its courts through the implementation of its transparency and anti-corruption policy. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okiowu reports.
We were spared of a reenactment of the June 12th saga, as I made no apologies to the firm stand we took in all our decisions. I'm proud to be part of the Supreme Court, which refused to be cowed into truncating the electoral process. I'm proud to have headed this noble arm of government and steering it through some very stormy waters. I'm proud of the Nigerian judiciary.
Hearing him say this, one would think that he was talking about the current happenings in the judiciary. No, he was referring to what the judiciary did to stabilize the 2015 elections when an attempt was being made to exclude President Muhammadu Buhari from contesting the 2015 elections. Justice Mahmoud Mohammed said such is the responsibility of the judiciary to the Nigerian people and called on those he was leaving behind to engender greater confidence of the people in the third arm of government. Attorney General of the Federation described Justice Mahmoud Mohammed's service as distinguished yet humble.
Influenced the evolution of our judiciary and impacted our country in a very profound manner.
Justice Mohammed, as chairman of the Federal Judicial Service Commission, has overseen the implementation of the new guidelines for the appointment of judicial officers.
Others said his exit should help galvanize respect for the rule of law in Nigeria.
Now we all know we have a problem in the law profession in which the bar and the bench are involved.
We try to make sure that we keep the judiciary as best as it could, so that we'll produce more of people like him.
This may be trying times for the nation's judiciary, but the attendance at this function seems to acknowledge that the judiciary remains the stabilizing factor for the nation's polity. And for the exiting Chief Justice of Nigeria, his contribution to this arm of government is immensely recognized. From the Supreme Court, Femi Okiowu, NTA News.
In the meantime, Nigeria is to team up with other countries in strengthening maritime security as a deliberate measure to stem theft of the nation's oil through the Gulf of Guinea. President Muhammadu Buhari stated this while exchanging views with Executive Secretary of the Gulf of Guinea Commission, Professor Florentina Okonga. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president also hosted the Papa Noshio to Nigeria on a farewell visit.
President Muhammadu Buhari noted with dismay that most of the crude oil stolen from Nigeria is taken through the Gulf of Guinea, thereby affecting the nation's financial and fiscal security. He therefore stated the commitment of his administration towards not only strengthening maritime security, but also rejuvenating the Gulf of Guinea Commission, which he described as vital to the nation's security and economy. The Executive Secretary of the Commission, Ambassador Adenike Okonga, said the body, established in 2001, is committed to sensitizing member countries on the need to maintain security in their territorial waters. This, she said, is necessary towards tackling, among others, piracy, unregulated fishing, drugs and human trafficking, as well as environmental pollution, saying, on its part, the Commission has been giving the criminal elements in the illegal maritime activities a run for their money. Meanwhile, in a separate meeting with the outgoing ambassador of the Holy See, Archbishop Augustine Kasuja, President Buhari applauded the contributions of Pope Francis to global peace, describing it as active, relentless, and inspiring. He asked the Apostolic Nuncio to convey his gratitude to the Pope for supporting Nigeria's efforts at ensuring peace, security, and national development. Ambassador Kasuja, who spent more than 6 years in the country, said during the period he visited all parts of Nigeria, finding it fascinating and his tour of duty fulfilling and rewarding. He extolled the courage of Nigerians, especially in the Northeast, whose spirit remains unbroken despite the devastating effect of insurgency. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says foreign exchange constraints and availability of arable land in Nigeria make the case for improved local agricultural production in the country an imperative rather than continued importation, with a significant pressure on dwindling foreign earning of the country. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo gave this explanation while receiving a Russian delegation led by the Russian Minister of Agriculture, who is also the co-chair of the Nigeria-Russia Joint Commission, Alexander Kachev. While inviting Russian farmers to invest in the country, Vice President Osinbajo said there are better opportunities for economic cooperation between the two countries. The Russian Minister of Agriculture expressed his country's willingness to enhance the existing trade relations with Nigeria. He observed that Nigeria-Russia trade volume is at the end of 2015 exceeded $300 million, but added that there are potential for improvement in the years ahead. And talking politics now, top notches of the All Progressives Congress APC converged on Akure, the Ondo State capital, early Thursday in a rally to drum support for their governorship candidate, Rotimi Akeredolu. Ifeanyi Okafor. Here's that report.
The All Progressives Congress mega rally in Akure flags off the party's campaign for the governorship election in Ondo State. APC National Chairman John Odige Oyegun says the performance of the APC government at the federal and state levels is enough evidence to ensure the party's victory.
We are here to let you know how valuable Aketi is in the politics of this country. They are here to tell you that Ondo State has been a key player in this country.
APC chieftains joined the standard bearer, Rotimi Akeredolu, to canvass for the people's support.
Answer the call of this party, and I'm sure with your support, we will be victorious this time around.
The governorship election is slated for November 26.
APC! Change! APC!
Ifeanyi Okafor, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Social Democratic Party candidate in Ondo State, Dr. Olu Agunloye, has promised good governance to alleviate the sufferings of the people. He made the promise during the flag-off of his governorship campaign in Akure, Ondo State, as reported by Olubukola Aduwo.
Members of the Social Democratic Party across the 18 local government areas of the state converge on the Democracy Park to support their governorship candidate, Dr. Olu Agunloye. The SDP governorship candidate, who appreciated members of the party for their large turnout, promised to make payment of salaries a priority, create jobs for the unemployed, and provide food through mechanized agriculture.
As alternative platform, it goes beyond colors of the party. It goes deep into the heart of the founding fathers. It goes deep into the manifesto and determination of the party. It goes deep into the discipline of the party. It offers a challenge for providing an alternative platform.
The national chairman of the party, Chief Olufalaye, urged workers in the state to vote for the Social Democratic Party for prompt payment of their salaries.
Can you imagine how people are surviving without their salaries? I was a civil servant for about 30 years. The governor will expatiate, he will explain the program, he will implement it.
Earlier in his address of welcome, the state chairman of the party, Chief Korede Duyile, assured the people that the party's candidate would provide the expected changes that will turn around the economy and the lives of the people positively. The governorship flag-off campaign of the SDP attracted national officers of the party. In Akure, Olubukola Aduwo, NTA News.
Still on the Ondo State governorship election, the three-man panel of appeal sitting in Abuja has upheld Eyitayo Jegede's right of appeal against the judgment of Justice Okon Abang in a unanimous ruling. The court dismissed the preliminary application of Biyi Poroye, objecting to the right of appeal of Eyitayo Jegede. Dele Atubi reports.
In the case of Eyitayo Jegede versus Biyi Poroye, the 9 respondents challenged the jurisdiction of the court and the administrative power of the President of the Court of Appeal to set up a special panel to adjudicate over the matter. It was on this ground that the counsel to the respondents asked the panel to disband itself. In his ruling, the three-man appeal panel, headed by Justice Ibrahim Salau, described the preliminary objection as vitiation of the right of the appellant to fair hearing. The panel, which assumed jurisdiction, dismissed the application on the ground of being a gross abuse of the court process. Ruling on the application of Eyitayo Jegede's prayer to appeal the judgment of Federal High Court, where he was not a party to a case at the trial court, the panel ruled that since the interest of Eyitayo Jegede has been affected by the lower court verdict, Jegede has the right of appeal.
I again reiterate that I'm absolutely committed to rule of law. We have been vindicated as a first step, and God willing, will continue to trudge on. There's no looking back.
With this ruling, the substantive suit of Eyitayo Jegede challenging the Federal High Court's verdict of June 29 and order on on the 14th October, which led to the substitution of his name by INEC with the name of Jimoh Ibrahim, as the governorship candidate of the PDP in Ondo State will now be heard. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Ahead of his inauguration, the United States President-elect Donald Trump has met with President Barack Obama in the White House. Talatu Ezurike looks at the uniqueness of America's democracy.
Since 1921, the United States of America has had an 11 rotational presidency, for which the Democrats have 5 with President Barack Obama, while the Republicans have 6, including the president-elect Donald Trump. Like he enjoined from George Bush, President Obama has extended hands of friendship to the president-elect with this invitation to discuss how to hand over power smoothly. The two, though not best of friends, have one thing in common: interests of Americans at heart. President Obama has pledged to put aside their differences before Trump takes over January. They also deliberated on domestic and foreign policy. Meanwhile, construction work is already underway in the White House for the inauguration ceremony. On the other hand, anti-Trump protests sweep through U.S. cities, attacking the president-elect's policies on immigration, gay and reproductive rights. Talatu Ezurike, NTA News.
As reactions continue to trail the election of Republican candidate Donald Trump as the 45th American president, guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria have stressed the need to cooperate with them to achieve a better intergovernment relations. It was hinged on prospects of Trump's presidency, as reported by Oyeyemi Ajayi.
I've just received a call from Secretary Clinton.
The election of Donald Trump as the 45th president of the United States has attracted different reactions. This ranging from the congratulatory messages sent to the president-elect by world leaders to the protest by some Americans who are not happy with the emergence of Donald Trump as the next president.
Overnight, the immigration website of the Canadian government actually crashed on account of people who are, on a whim deciding that they're emigrating out of the U.S. because of the situation.
While discussing the prospects of Trump's presidency, some of the guests believe that Donald Trump cannot rule as the president of the United States in isolation, as it needs other countries.
People should look up to Trump as somebody who triumphed for the goodness of America, and this should now translate in also for the best in global relations.
There are other issues, foreign policy issues also. South Korea, North Korea, nuclear weapons, Iran, and all that.
The one important thing Hillary said also in her concession speech is she would stand by him to make sure he becomes a great president. What that does is it's saying, Donald Trump, our eyes are on you.
The guests were unanimous in their views that it is quite hopeful that America will one day have a female president. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Going to the National Assembly now, 2 reports of the Committee on Finance suffered setback at Senate plenary on Thursday. The reports are those of the 2016 budget of the Federal Inland Revenue Service and that of the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority Act. Waziri Zeyano reports.
While the Federal Inland Revenue Bill dwelled extensively on the 2016 budget of the organization, that of the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority aimed at restoring sovereignty of Naira as the national currency.
The committee recommends that a total expenditure of 143 billion 722 million be approved for the FIRS in 2016.
I saw that in the description of some of these items, they're quite vague.
Some of these internally generated revenue budgets are deposited with various committees. We should find time to apply and confirm some of the values.
The budget is like cut and paste, and I think that something needs to be done for them to go back and relook at it.
After deliberations, the Finance Committee was asked to tidy the Federal Inland Revenue Service report within 7 days, while that of the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority was deferred to another legislative day for further consideration. Report of the Committee on Agriculture and Road Development of the Nigerian Quarantine Service, however, sailed through.
By passing this bill into law, it will provide science-based regulatory services for quality assurance.
As a plenary, Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety has called on the National Assembly for more legislative backing. The Corps Marshal made the appeal while discussing with the Senate President.
The areas of intervention, as we have been forwarding to you in our recommendations, the Act of the Corps needs to be strengthened.
We're ready to cooperate with you on that area, and then we'll also look at your funding to see whatever support we can give, particularly to the heavy duty trucks that you will require.
From the National Assembly, Wazir Zayan, NTA News.
The Minister of Budget and National Planning, Udoma Udodoma, says the federal government is committed to implementing both the nation's economic recovery and sustainable growth. It was at a national economic retreat on development of medium-term national plan between 2017 and 2020. Kenneth Nanim reports.
Minister Udo Udoma explained that the 2016 budget provided clear economic vision and direction of the federal government, of which the strategic implementation plan includes adequate consultation with both public and private sector.
We'll also consult with the states. We'll consult with the government partners. And we'll also consult with the National Assembly. At the end of it, we will now launch this document, which puts together all the policies, economic policies and programs of the government.
He assured that the federal government has the political will to implement in all economic ideas that will emanate from the retreat, having set in motion adequate machineries that will stimulate the business environment for an inclusive participation. For the participants, the retreat will involve new roadmap to overcoming the present economic recession and fast-track the nation to a more sustainable economic growth by the year 2020. In Abuja, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill for an act to amend the National Health Act, which seeks to provide for the regulation of assisted birth control technology in Nigeria. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo here's the details.
While reiterating the importance of assisted birth control, Representative Shegun Adekola from Ekiti State argued that the law should provide for regulation of the process to ensure that it is carried out in line with the ethics of the medical profession.
To examine the necessity or the need for making the new treatment of infertility part of government's public health policies.
A motion on the need for the federal government to include all oil-producing communities in Imo and Delta states in the Niger Delta and federal government stakeholders meeting was adopted, moved by Representative Goodluck Nana Opia from Imo State.
That there is a major tension in the oil-producing communities of Imo State.
The House held a valedictory session in honor of one of its members, Philip Shaibu, who was recently elected Deputy Governor of Edo State.
You must be the bridge builder between the parliament and the executive branch of Edo State government.
Now, as you set out on this great journey that is full of promises and challenges, we wish you Godspeed.
We are one big family of patriots in service for a better nation called Nigeria.
Chairman House Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Abdulrazak Namdas, made some clarification on Sharia bill before the House.
Please, gentlemen, we don't have a bill in the House of Representatives that is called a Sharia law bill. We don't have. What we have is that somebody, a member on the floor of the House, made a proposal to amend Constitution. And this was referred to Special Committee on the Review of the Constitution, which I'm also a member.
Representative Namdas said several committees are currently on oversight functions. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Quality of mercy takes Nigeria to Cameroon. When we return, do stay.
This is a happy moment for me and for all Nigerians.
Amina Ali Nkeke, the first Chibok schoolgirl to be rescued in the renewed onslaught against the Boko Haram insurgency.
Amina's rescue gives us new hope.
Federal government has formally received the 21 abducted Chibok girls.
These dear daughters of ours have seen the worst that the world has to offer. It is now time for them to experience the best that the world can do for them. Government will sustain the effort until all the remaining girls return safely.
Come down. See, come this gizzard. Put in that liver.
Yes, I'll go put Oga. This is so you have plenty.
Why you shake now? What do they want? Cut them down.
Make I put this one, go. Your money is to pay for this one, so
I don't pay already now.
Yeah?
See, if you pay yesterday, you know they pay today. Now free tomorrow now.
Make I tell you, one like this one, no be good to your support. Pretty tomorrow, it never reach here. One like you, somebody that you are going to pay me my money now.
Now lie there everywhere.
What if? You are going to pay me for my food? Like, pay me my money now.
Yeah, calm down.
As you talk about me, tell me now, who are going to pay for this year? Who going to pay for all this meat? You talk about my
Whatever airtime or data you use, in one day you can get double the amount back tomorrow to browse, text, and talk to all networks. Free. Dial *600# today.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
To send and receive money across Africa in a flash, use Rapid Transfer today. To find out more, visit us online at ecobank.com. Move on up with EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
The Honorable Minister of State for Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika, cordially invites stakeholders in the sector to the second regular consultative meeting scheduled to hold as follows. Date Saturday, November 12, 2016. Venue, Sheraton Hotels, Ikeja, Lagos. Time 4 p.m. prompt. The forum is to enable the Honorable Minister of State Aviation update stakeholders on the journey so far and present the new aviation roadmap as part of the Buhari administration's resolve to carry along all critical groups on the journey to transform the aviation sector. Signed, Sabiu Zakari, Permanent Secretary.
Hello, dear. You've got the first signs of a sore throat.
Yes, and I'm afraid it could be signs of a sore throat.
Don't you worry. Just act immediately, but not with non-medicated throat sweets. Take an expert product. Take Strepsils. Look at what it does to sore throat germs compared to a throat sweet. Strepsils not only stops the germs from multiplying, it even kills them.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, sore throat. Stop a sore throat early. Take Strepsils.
It's truck month at Ford, and we've got a Ranger just for you, Vincent. Here's the Workhorse 2.5 petrol single cab with free Ford Protect, a 4-year, 120,000-kilometer service plan. Or the 2.5 petrol-based double cab with 800mm water wading capability, available in manual transmission and with free Ford Protect. So while stocks last, visit Koscharis Motors today. Because, wait for it, thanks Vincent, we've got a tough Ford Ranger just for you.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth is in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Helen!
Would you like some water? It's cold, especially for you.
Which era are you living in? We have a fridge.
When everything else in your house is from the present, then why are your toilet cleaning methods from the past? Harpic, all-in-one for you. Compared to other toilet cleaners, Harpic removes top stains, kills all germs, and removes bad odors for a shining clean and fresh toilet.
Wow.
You should also take the Harpic
all-in-one challenge.
What does it take to become the ultimate African footballer? Explosive pace, untouchable skill, immense strength, born leadership, and global superstar status. Every year, you add a player to our lineup of legends. Join us live with the host of footballing heroes as we reveal the shortlist for the 2016 BBC African Footballer of the Year.
Thanks for staying with us on NTA Network Service. As African Ministers of Culture and Tourism prepare to make formal presentation of a draft charter to United Nations Climate Change Conference holding in Marrakesh, Morocco, the proposed charter is to support a global call for the promotion of a sustainable tourism policy. Nigeria's delegation is headed by Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed. Anthony Forson reports.
The African ministers, having strategized and made inputs into the proposed charter document, took into consideration the peculiar situation of each African country with a common goal to ensure that the sector is developed in the interest of the continent.
If we do not reasonably manage our cultural resources and heritages, which drive tourism, we would end up having nothing, to market. The various articles is actually talking about creating awareness for the need to reasonably exploit our tourism.
We'll sign this document which talks about durable, responsible, sustainable, and inclusive tourism.
It is important also to emphasize that this is a first in terms of grouping all the ministers of tourism together.
The document, if ratified, will not only take into consideration sustainable development of the sector, but critical issues are equally taken care of in the charter document.
It takes into consideration climate because it's one of our main assets when we promote destinations.
It's a way of framing also tourism along with the environmental concerns.
To have a sustainable use and to pass to the coming generation too, we need to develop a sustainable utilization principle.
With this endorsement by the African countries being represented at this meeting and formally to be presented to the summit, it is believed that Africa has taken its position in promoting tourism on the continent. From Marrakesh, Morocco, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Thank you, Anthony. And back to Nigeria, the need to build a structured partnership between the African Union, AU, and religious leaders for advancing justice, peace, security, and development in the continent has been emphasized at the second African Union Interfaith Dialogue Forum in Abuja. Lydia Bassett reports that the forum was coordinated by the AU and Kaisid International Dialogue Center.
With over 32 African countries represented, the forum is aimed at establishing a permanent steering committee which will interface policymakers with religious leaders and comprises representatives of national interfaith councils, civil society organizations, and scholars.
Public space for free expression, and that is exactly the aim of this meeting.
The role of religious leaders in advancing peace, inclusiveness, and development in African communities, which focus on religion, politics, gender, security, and development, were highlighted.
Interfaith is perhaps the most important project that should be embarked by the governments and peoples of Africa at the moment.
Religion has become a source of great worry, especially things being done in the name of religion. I think it's an opportunity for us to think a bit more clearly about the real beneficial role of religion.
There's need for us to interact and have dialogue, shared common values.
The AU and KCID International Dialogue Center are working jointly to promote inter-religious dialogue as a means to build peace and enhance social cohesion in Africa. Lydia Bassi, NTA News.
Nigeria joins the rest of the world, of the international community, to mark the World Science Day, when scientists demonstrate their latest researches and do shows and exhibitions based on themes and concepts. It was conceived by the United Nations to strengthen public awareness on the role of science in providing solutions to human problems. Science correspondent Kirian Umayo reports.
The objective of World Science for Peace and Development is to promote national and international solidarity and shared science between countries and renewed commitment for the use of science for the benefit of societies. In Nigeria, the focus is on the younger generation of scientists who are being encouraged by the Minister of Science and Technology to strengthen their interest in science, mathematics, and innovation.
Cannot talk about diversification of the economy without encouraging the study of science and technology.
The theme of this year's Science Day is celebrating science centers and museums as platforms for dialogue, understanding, and resilience.
We are now witnessing situations where from the primary school, secondary school, up to tertiary levels, people are appreciating science, are applying science, are using science in their day-to-day activities.
Students from different secondary schools exhibited their projects, which include waste management plant, renewable energy biogas plant, water purification project using Moringa oleifera seeds, and stabilized brick making. Scientists celebrate this year's Science Day in Nigeria with mixed feelings, drawing attention to the challenges of poor funding of scientific endeavor. Kirian Umayo, NTA News.
In other news, returnees from Polka in Borno State, a town initially occupied by Boko Haram in 2015, has commended the Nigerian army for its efforts towards their resettlement. This was during an appraisal visit by a delegation from the Atlantic Council's Africa Center and members of the Nigerian Guild of Editors to the area. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the delegation was led by Major General Johnny Hamakim, Director, Nigerian Army Resource Center in Abuja.
The mission of this team, led by Major General Johnny Hamakim, Director, Army Resource Center, is to accord the delegation first-hand information about the operations and other activities of troops in northeast Nigeria. One of the places visited that attracted the attention of the delegation was Pulka in Goza local government area of Borno State. Due to its proximity to the dreaded Zambisa forest, the area was infested by Boko Haram.
Following the aggressive and offensive operations of the Nigerian military that led to the liberation of this area, these people and their parents no longer fear Boko Haram, but their interest and concern is their immediate rehabilitation and resettlement and the reconstruction of their infrastructure.
This is a primary school courtesy of the Nigerian Army. Despite the harsh, unfriendly learning environment, they are all determined to forge ahead. 219 students from here are ready for common entrance into secondary schools. 32-year-old Halima Musa lost her husband during the last attack by Boko Haram. This skill acquisition center in an abandoned filling station, she said, has empowered 250 participants.
They are teaching them how to sew, how to make soap, how to make detergent.
What the international community can most do is support the efforts of the Nigerian army and people to fully liberate the country and to rebuild.
From Pulka in Goza local government area of Borno State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The federal government has donated 70 tons of medical supplies worth about 150 million naira to the Cameroonian government to assist the victims of the train accident which occurred on the 21st of September. The goods were delivered by a special envoy led by the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Khadija Bukar Abba Ibrahim, and was received by the Prime Minister of Cameroon, Philemon Yang, on behalf of President Paul Biya. The Prime Minister expressed appreciation to President Muhammadu Buhari for identifying with Cameroon for losing 8 lives, while about 700 people were injured. Represented by the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Health, Binta Adamu Bello, the Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, noted that all the drugs donated were manufactured in Nigeria by indigenous pharmaceutical companies. He said the goal is to make Nigerian companies compete favorably with their foreign counterparts and make their products acceptable in the global market. Rural electrification, women, and HIV are the issues on our report from Lagos. Vera is our guide. Hello, Vera. It's over to you. It's over to you.
Thank you, Ronke. Good evening and welcome to Lagos. Nigeria has developed a robust rural electrification policy plan with more emphasis on harnessing the potentials of micro-hydro dams. Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, disclosed this at the ongoing European Union Nigeria Business Forum in Lagos. Ablai Mohammed reports.
Bearing in mind that the forum was a pool of decision makers representing various multinationals in the global power sector, the Minister of Power, Works and Housing rolled out the details of the rural electrification plans. He said the initiative will focus on boosting agriculture and education, with some Nigerian universities driving the process.
This is a plan that you can invest in, because we are ready, we've done the audit, we know how many plants we need to build. As I said, the 37, out of these 37, 9 of them are gas plants, 28 of them are solar plants. They will generate a combined capacity of 120 megawatts of power, because that is what the audit result produced as a demand.
The minister also made a case for investment in the power distribution and generation companies.
We need investments also for promoters who are trying to develop solar power.
Despite the challenges associated with the power sector in Nigeria, many investors have remained committed to the sector.
We really had the feeling that we should do more in terms of economic cooperation and bringing more than public or ODA, or overseas development aid to Nigeria, but rather bring investments.
And with the European Union committing 150 million euro to the power sector in Nigeria, analysts say the future is bright. In Lagos, Abdullah Mohammed, NTA News.
Empowerment and protection of women and adolescent girls against HIV infection is said to be a panacea for reducing the risks of mother-to-child transmission and cut down on the population of HIV-infected persons in Nigeria. This was the focus of distinguished lecture series of the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research held in Lagos. Tunde Saiki reports.
Research findings reveal that women and adolescent girls are more prone to HIV infection due to their high level of fertility, adolescent pregnancies, among other related factors. Deputy Director, Research and Consultant Obstetrician and Gynecologist, Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, Dr. Oliver Ezechi, says cervical cancer in women is a common cause of death among the HIV-positive women. This, is said, prompted the World Health Organization's recommendation for the integration of cervical cancer screening into the HIV treatment programs as prevention and control strategy. Dr. Ezechi identifies stigma and discrimination as a major challenge of HIV-positive women.
Because of that stigma and discrimination, when they are positive, they are not likely to come out to access for care. At the end of the day, they might end up dying, even when the services are readily available.
Director General, Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, Babatunde Salako, says the institution diagnosed 24,000 cases of HIV. This figure, he says, has been reduced by 5%.
It was also reduced the transmission rate, and one major way is from mother to child.
The distinguished lecture series titled That She May Survive and Bring Forth an AIDS-Free Generation is the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research's contribution to the fight against HIV infection in Nigeria. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
And if you just joined us, you're watching the NTA Network News from the Lagos Network Center. We take a break now to bring you some messages. The news returns in a moment with Ronke in Abuja. Don't go away.
Years ago, Globe predicted that the future lay in data. They laid a dedicated fiber optic ring around the country, seamlessly connecting to cities, suburbs, and towns. They created innovative, flexible, and highly affordable data plans. Then, Glo launched 4G LTE, data so clear and so fast that it will transform the way Nigerians communicate, work, learn, and play. They can listen to millions of music tracks, enjoy thousands of movies, play online video games, and even watch live TV. Their homes have become smart homes. This is the new speed of life.
Enjoy the fastest data speed plus free world-class content like 10 gigabytes for 2,500 naira and 24 gigabytes for 5,000 naira. Available in all Glow World outlets and Glow dealers. Welcome to the new speed of life.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now, through our technology. LG OLED TV.
Germs, oil, and dirt cause blemishes and uneven skin tone. You need Dettol Even Tone. It removes 99.9% of germs and is formulated to remove excess oil and dirt, helping to reduce blemishes.
Dettol Mom. She only trusts Dettol Antiseptic Liquid to kill 100 illness-causing germs, and it's recommended for cuts and scrapes. Worry less and love more. Don't just be any mom, be a Dettol mom. Dettol, be 100% sure.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, wishes to invite accountants, planning officers and auditors, treasurers, stock verifiers, bursars, budget officers, accounting technicians, top administrative officers, finance officers to a 5-day workshop on the International Public Sector Accounting Standards. Date Monday 21st to Friday 25th November 2016. Venue ASCON Complex, Topo Badagry. Fee 100,000 naira only per participant, excluding lodging and feeding. Please note, arrival and registration for the workshop will be done on Sunday 20th November 2016. Account name ASCON E-Collection Account. Account number 023-0055-861019. For inquiry, contact Workshop Director G.A. Afalanya or Workshop Coordinator Mr. S.O. Bejoku, Announcer Director General.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings.